Hey, hello, sacred friend. Welcome back. I am Lori Andrus, and welcome to this episode of the Luminary Life Podcast. Here we are in December, and we are on the Gemini Full Moon, the last full moon of the year. We have welcomed in the final crystal ally for 2025, and that is Carnelian. And goodness, I feel like there's so much that I want to talk about today. And where we're going to go is we're actually going to lean into some of the themes that have shown up over the past year, just touch on that a little bit. I'm going to share with you some of my thoughts and insights that are coming in already for the crystal forecast that we'll be doing this weekend. If you have not signed up, this is a free virtual live event. It's something I host every year, and it really helps us to tune into the energy, the themes, and the crystal allies for the coming year. I draw a forecast from the Stonespeak Oracle and pull out a card or a crystal for each month and for the year. And in today's episode, we're actually going to look back a little bit at some of the crystals and stones that came forward last year and some of the overarching energy that has shown up. And I'm wearing orange today, which is not a usual color for me, but that might give you a little peek into where we're going to go for our conversation. And so our conversation is really going to lean into some of the orange crystals because that has been central in this season or in this past year, actually. Goodness, when we kicked off last year, the January crystal ally of the month was the Barite Rose. And in the Stonespeak Oracle, the message it shares is to remember anything is possible. And if we think about a tone for the year and a theme that really opened up in January but followed through the entire year, this energy of anything is possible. I think we've witnessed this in our outer world on so many levels. And I feel like its invitation is one of being really mindful and conscious of what we're creating, why we're creating it, how we're creating it. Being conscious and mindful of where we allow our thoughts to drift to. Are they something that we want to bring to reality? Do they expand us? Do they light up? Do they invite us to step into the realm of infinite possibilities? And as we look back throughout this year and we consider that energy and that theme being what kicked us off, it's really interesting that here we are at the close of the year and we're beginning to work with Carnelian as our ally for the month of December. The beginning was an orange stone and the close is an orange stone. And Carnelian is such a fantastic ally for really attuning to our unique creative compass, to tap into it and be crystal clear about the direction it is pointing and honoring that direction, taking steps toward it, allowing ourselves to trust our inspired action and follow through, bringing things into reality. Carnelian lights an inner fire. It ignites a spark, and that spark activates our creative power and potential. And those of you who are sitting back thinking, I am not creative, oh, yes, you are. By being human, you are innately creative, whether that is creating delicious dishes, being creative in the way you organize and structure your home, your schedule, your family things, the ways you tend to plants, the ways you tend to coming up with ideas of things to do, things that spark you and spark others. Creativity does not begin and end with art or music or theater or any other thing that you automatically think of. Creativity, it lives within you. And your capacity to create is immense. Carnelian really wants to remind us of that. So as we're leaning into this month, we're really being invited to remember our creative power and potential, to orient ourselves towards where we want to go, what our vision is, what our dreams are in our heart, and most importantly, and this is the most important piece, the reality we wish to create and see in this world. This is so significant and important right now. There's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of distraction. There's a lot of disruption. And our greatest opportunity is to tap into a vision of possibility, a vision of hope, a vision that feels authentic and aligned and true within our hearts. The external things that are going on, the things that create, oh gosh, so many other, I feel like I could go on a big rabbit hole of conversation about this, but if we can come back to ourselves and really lean into what it is we're longing to experience in the world for ourselves and for others, what it is we are longing to create in the world for ourselves and for others, that is going to allow us to expand infinitely and is going to allow the world to really reset and right itself. We're in a really pivotal time. We are actively co-creating a new reality. And that new reality has immense possibilities. And if we just look at this bookend of this year, the two crystal allies that showed up, we have the reminder at the beginning of the year that everything is possible. And then at the very close of this year, a reminder to really bring our inner compass into alignment with what is most true, what is most authentic, and what we most long to experience. Then, as we look at just the overarching energy of this past year, we also had two allies that journeyed with us through the entire year, the crystal allies of the year. And those two allies were star cluster Aragonite and copper. And again, in the Stone Speak Oracle, they fall into the orange palette. So all of these fall into the orange palette. And if we look at that from a color perspective, or if we look at that from the chakra perspective, we can see this as connected with our sacral chakra. We can see this as connected with creative energy. Orange is a vibrantly creative, fiery, activating energy, and it is awakening an energy of inner fire and creation. Now, the star cluster Aragonite that journeyed with us through the entire year brought with it the message that now is the time to anchor your light within. And along with that, it took us on a journey, and you can probably look back at your year and see where this is true for you. And I actually think this would be something really powerful to spend a bit of time reflecting on. The focus was on calling your energy back and disconnecting with those places where it has become scattered. Now, much of this year and much of the energy of really activating our inner creative fire and supporting us in imagining what's possible and trusting our capacity to create, a lot of that requires us to be fully present, to be fully anchored within ourselves. And Star Cluster Aragonite invites that. And in the process of inviting that, of anchoring our light within, it illuminates the places and spaces and things that have held on to or we've attached to that don't serve us, things that scatter our energy, distract our focus and our attention, pull us away from what is most important. And I think when we pause and consider what is most important, what really is the thing that supports us most in life, that allows us to feel most expansive, that allows us to feel connected, to feel a sense of purpose and drive and reason. When we really consider those places and spaces, it's not all the extra busyness that causes us to scatter our attention and awareness and focus. And when we allow ourselves to disconnect from that and call our energy back, we could, as a very, very simple example, we could look at, say, for example, the news or social media. It is so easy to just dive down a rabbit hole of information, thoughts, beliefs, storylines that don't serve us. And when we allow our energy to just go down that rabbit hole and get scattered, our focus, our ability to be present within ourselves, to be present within the moment, dissipates. And star cluster Aragonite's like, hey, let's shine a light on that. Is that serving you? And I think you can expand this to so many other areas of your life. And I want to invite you to just spend some time in reflection on that. Where in your life have you been, little by little, drawing back your own threads of energy and anchoring them within? What have you found yourself disconnecting from? And sometimes this can be like patterns of drama, ways that you repeatedly interact with individuals that aren't serving you and aren't serving with the other individual. Sometimes we get hooked into these patterns and our energy gets bound and tangled in them. And the storyline becomes deeper and deeper and deeper, becomes more and more embedded in the relationship, embedded in the essence of who we are. And Star Cluster Aragonite says, hey, let's illuminate that. Let's call your energy back and give back the energy to the other. Let's create awareness around everything that no longer serves. Let's call your energy back. Let's anchor it within. There's an old practice, and one that I learned many, many years ago from one of my medicine teachers, Adolfo. And it was about bringing a hand to your heart and bringing a hand to your navel center and allowing yourself to just rest into those spaces and really recognizing where your energy has become scattered and calling it back and letting yourself rest into your own body, into the sacred vessel that is you. And in that process, resetting your rhythm to the rhythm of the earth, to slow down, to feel it, to be present with it, and allow yourself to be present within you. This is something that is so important and essential in such a wonderful way as we move through the holidays, as we move through the last days and weeks of this month. It's something that I think is really essential as we're resetting our own energy and allowing ourselves to vision a new reality, to create a new reality. Yeah. Okay, so the other crystal ally for the year, which was copper. Copper, oh my goodness, I love this stone so much. Copper invites us to activate our creative flow, our creative rhythm. And in the process, it helps us to find a natural momentum, to allow things to move forward, to be engaged, to have like a continuous flow. I always love to think about how copper is a part of running electrical current and running information currents. It's like the original pathway that we were using for so much information transfer here. And if you think about it being in the earth, the energy of allowing things to move so fluidly. Well, copper also invites us to really expand our light. So star cluster Aragonite inviting us to anchor the light within, copper inviting us to expand it, to allow it to be brilliant and bright. Yeah, to be the light that we are, and to let our creative flow continue to move. One of the things that years ago, copper showed up for me, and it was during a time when I just really wanted to retreat back and to kind of energetically hide. And copper challenged that. It challenged me to let myself be seen, to be aware of the places where I wasn't in harmony with myself, and recognize that it is okay to be at peace with all facets of self. And this is really what it invites. It invites a sense of peace and honoring and love and reverence for all of who we are. The good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly, the incredibly difficult, and the deliciously wonderful and amazing. It invites us to know and love all facets of self and let them shine without being hidden, without skirting them away, and to let our energy flow, to let our light flow. As you consider this past year and, give yourself space under this Gemini full moon and in the final weeks of this year to do some reflection and consider what has all unfolded throughout this past year and what it has created space for. I want to invite you to really love up on all of it. And in particular, celebrate that space that's been created, the space that has opened for something new to emerge. This is a pivotal time, and the something new that is emerging is important. I know this year has not been the easiest. For me personally, I think for many people, this has been a year that's invited us to challenge our own ideas and make shifts and changes that we never expected or anticipated before. It's really pushing us to open into a new space and to have new context for what is being dreamed and brought into the world. And that requires a new pathway, a new current of thought. And that means releasing the old current of thought. And that release has not always been easy. So honor the ways you found yourself challenged by it. Love up on yourself with that. And embrace the ways that have flowed easily. Celebrate them. As we're opening space for 2026, it's time. It's just time to truly step into and embrace your most authentic self, to honor the vision that you carry, and to recognize that it is time to source vision from an entirely new narrative. Yeah. We'll be talking more about that in the crystal forecast on Sunday. And as we lean into this 2026 forecast and we call forward the crystal allies for the coming year, we're going to lean into what it is that they are wanting to share, what it is that they can sense in the current of the earth and the rhythm of the earth. We're going to listen to the wisdom that they want to bring forward. And one of the central pieces that they've been just whispering in my ear, and maybe not whispering, getting pretty loud about, is this piece about sourcing the new paradigm vision from a different place. And we'll lean into that in conversation. We'll talk more about that. And I'm really excited to go there because this is so important right now. And I would really love for you to join me. This is a free event. This is something that I offer each year. It's a really beautiful circle of individuals who come together and lean in. It's a place to really embrace your unique medicine, your unique wisdom, and to slow down, just be present with the wisdom and insight of the crystals and stones. I'll drop a link for that down below in the show notes, and I want to invite you to join me. All right, so thank you for popping on today. Thank you for leaning into a bit of a wrap-up conversation about some of the crystal kind of core energy for the year, some of the themes that are emerging right now. And I'd be curious what's really showing up for you. What is arriving or arising in your world as we wind down this year? What space have you created in your life throughout 2025? And what visions are beginning to emerge for you? All right. Thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you on Sunday. And if you're not there, sign up anyway because you'll get the replay and enjoy the replay. And until then, have a beautiful day. And as always, shine brightly. Bye for now.